Welcome to the March 31st edition of Midweek Missions, our weekly missions update from First Baptist Nixa. Today we're going to be bringing you an update from M&C, our mission partners in Southeast Asia. Now, due to enhanced security measures because of their mission field, we don't reveal their names or their specific locations, but this family is dear to our church and in fact were with us back in October when they were home on furlough. M&C and their children came back to the U.S. last March for a scheduled furlough after 3 years on the field. But due to COVID restrictions, their return to their mission field was delayed for a number of months. But in late February, they were able to return to the mission field to begin their second term. Soon thereafter, they sent back this newsletter, which I'd like to read to you. As many of you know, our family planned to return to our country on January 1st, 2021. Unfortunately, that plan was delayed as the government announced a 2-week countrywide lockdown from January 1st to January 14th, the week before our scheduled departure. That lockdown continued to get extended with the latest announcement coming on February 8th. At that point, we assumed that our return was going to continue to get delayed into the foreseeable future, as the COVID numbers haven't been declining or improving throughout the country. However, to our surprise, the evening of February 8th, the Immigration Office expanded the list of exceptions that permitted foreigners to enter Indonesia, even though the lockdown period had not yet been lifted. Fortunately for us, our visa fit into one of the new exception categories that was on the list. So on Sunday, February 21st, we boarded a plane at 7 a.m. to begin our journey back to our mission field. Thankfully, even though there were additional health protocols that we had to follow along the way, we were able to travel without any problems or unexpected delays. Our flights were essentially empty, maybe only 40 or 50 passengers total, allowing us to spread out and stretch out along the way. Surprisingly, the entire process was very smooth and organized. We arrived in our country on Monday night around 11:30 p.m. and within a couple of hours we were getting settled at our quarantine hotel, grabbing a snack to eat and heading to bed around 2:30 a.m. Everyone slept until about 7 a.m. that morning. At 10 a.m. we received our first of 2 required COVID tests. Thankfully, our results all came back negative yesterday. We will receive our second test later today. As long as everyone's results come back negative tomorrow, we'll be released from our mandatory 5-day quarantine hotel on Saturday morning. Once released, we'll pick up our car, put as much of our luggage as we can into the car, ship what we can't back to our city, and then drive back to our city. We plan to arrive on Tuesday afternoon of next week. That was 4 weeks ago. And for the past 3 weeks, they have been back on the mission field, back in their ministry city, getting settled back into their home, reestablishing relationships, and re-engaging in ministry. In that newsletter, they provide us with 3 prayer requests that we will make the focus of our prayer time today. First, they say, pray for our transition back to our city. It's been 10 months since we left, and we know that things will be different than our last term, given all the additional health protocols that need to be followed. So pray for outrageous boldness and godly wisdom for the few believers, and for discipleship movements to spring up in their communities. Number 2, they say, pray for our teammates and for other personnel who are still in the States, awaiting immigration to begin processing visas again. Essentially, all of their personnel from their ministry country are in the States and can't arrive or return to the country until things open up further. The only reason we were able to enter was because our visas were already processed at the end of last year, before this most recent lockdown was implemented. And third, pray for our families in the States that we just said goodbye to for now. We plan to be on the field for another 2.5 years before returning to the States again for our next stateside assignment or furlough. So as you pray through these prayer points, we're going to put up a 1-minute timer, at the end of which this video will end. As always, you can pause the timer and pray for longer if you wish, but let's dedicate at least a minute today to pray for M&C and their family and their ministry in Southeast Asia.